Hey y'all, welcome back to the Patreon. I am going to do my makeup and we can discuss some topics. Let's just discuss some happy news that has happened in my life. Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes have announced that they are married, that they are husband and wife, and that's just great news in my life. Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling are like my favorite couple in Hollywood. It's so funny when they got together in 2012. I'm not gonna be honest, I didn't love it because I was a Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams truther. And I honestly didn't think they were gonna last that long. You know, I thought it was a nice little fling. They met on the set of, what's the name of that goddamn movie? Only God Forgive Knows. It's that movie with Bradley Cooper and Eva Mendes. What's the name? The Place Beyond the Pines. That's the name of that movie. They met in that movie, and I was like, okay, it's a cute little, movie fling. Like, how long is it gonna last, baby? They showed me 2 kids, and a decade later, they showed me. I love them together. I think they're so cute. And you want to know what? I respect the shit out of Eva Mendes because I believe that if something doesn't serve you, you shouldn't do it anymore. And Eva Mendes has been very vocal about the fact that she doesn't like acting. She's never liked acting. It's something that is that fell into her lap. Being an actress is something that she never wanted to do for the rest of her life, and now she doesn't have to. And so she's excited about that fact, and so she does everything else that's not acting. And Eva Mendes looks good, still looks good, and she should be on my goddamn TV screen. But she says she just doesn't enjoy acting. She sees Ryan Gosling act and prepare for a role, and she's like, I don't have that thing that makes you want to do a role, prepare for a role. She doesn't have that in her, and that's so real. That's so fucking real. Speaking of doing what makes you feel good, another person I want to extend some love to is Tia Mowry. Tia Mowry, because y'all have been fucking nasty towards her. Tia Mowry said, from Tia and Tamara, she said that she doesn't see her marriage as a failure. Like, they spent 12, 14, damn near 20 years together. Shit. They spent forever together. And this is kind of like a graduation. Like, it's time to move on to the next stages of their life, and she's okay with that. And that sounds like perfectly fine. You want to know what? I love when a marriage ends. That sounds so terrible. I love when a marriage ends, and it's just like good riddance. Like, we had our fun and it's done. There's no beef. There's no hard feelings, and that's what it seems like is going on with Tia and her ex-husband. And y'all are on Tia's neck. You got the church girls sitting up here like, why would you break up your family if nothing is wrong? Like, marriage is a failure. You should want to be together forever with your husband, and y'all didn't make it that way. So you're a failure. Y'all are this. Y'all have to get a grip. Y'all have to get a grip. I saw someone say this, and I'm going to reiterate it. Relationships come and relationships go. And that's just something we've all accepted. Family relationships go. You're not even friends. You're not even close to your family all of the time. Like, relationships have their season, and sometimes it's not y'all season no more. Sometimes something can make complete sense. The people I was friends with in high school, I have no reason to be friends with right now. Like, most of those people, I have no reason to be friends with because, like, I'm a different person than I was then. This isn't our season. Who's to say a decade from now I don't meet those people again and we'd be perfectly good friends? But this is not our season. So you understand that. You understand that, hey, right now I can't talk to this relative right now because, this isn't our season. Like, we're not getting along. You understand that with so many things. Why don't y'all understand that with people's, like, romantic partners, especially marriage? Like, it's not their season. Like, they had a time, but right now they're trying to force a square into a circle, and it's just simply not working. Does that negate the fact that they had 11, 12, 20 good years? Does that negate that? Does it negate that they were meant for each other at a time. Like, it's fine. Like, they're moving on with their life. And that it's just like, divorce is just not this horrible thing that people make it out to be, you know? Like, they had so many good times. To be together that long, you hope that they have just had so many fucking good times. And that's good. Like, that's, what more can you ask for? You know, I just don't understand this constant need. But I do want to get on the men. Because, you know, I gotta get on the men. I think if this idea that Tia is, like, throwing out there, that, like, if something doesn't serve you, it's time to go. People don't like the idea that women have this idea they can find happiness after marriage. Because if more women saw that, like, marriage isn't the end all be all, the marriage you're in is not the end all be all, a lot of people wouldn't have wives. Because we have already seen this. We've already done the study. Marriage benefits men 10 times more than it benefits women. Marriage benefits men 10 times more than it benefits women. There is no man that wants to be 50 and alone. Because, like, you hear women talk about the stuff that they do in their marriages. They do so much stuff. They make sure they cook, they eat, they cook, they clean, they doing insurance stuff. They the one who take care of the kids, you know, all the admin stuff in the home. And all of that is labor. All of that is labor that men don't have to do in their homes. Not all men. I shouldn't have to say that, but not all men. Some men are, you know, present in their household, but that's a big weight lifted off their shoulder. And then when your wife is gone, who's going to pick up that slack? Who's going to pick up that slack? No one. So you use your marriage in order to get that slack picked up. And so when you hear women saying, like, you know what, if this doesn't serve me, I'm going to leave, it makes you uncomfortable. Because if women start moving within their desires, you might not have a wife. You might not have a wife. Y'all have to get a grip. Y'all have to get a grip and stay out of other people's marriage. Like, everybody don't want to sit up here all day and be fucking miserable. Like, like, there's just too much life to live. That's the thing why I respect people who get divorced. Because I just think that is such, when everyone around you, like, is telling you should be married or talking about your marriage, and you decide, I can't do this anymore, that's just a level of picking yourself that I can just only respect. I can only respect it. Like, you really put yourself first. A lot of people speak that shit, but a lot of people don't do that shit. A lot of people don't put themselves first, and a lot of people don't prioritize their happiness. Like, those kids are gonna be just as happy as they were the day before. Like, those kids will be alright. Her kids, they kids will be all right. Croy, that's his name. His name is not Croy. What is that man name? That's Kim man name from Real Housewives of Atlanta. What's her name? Maybe it is. I don't fucking know. Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Everybody gonna be all fucking all right, okay? Like, get a grip. The next group of people, this is really called the Get a Grip episode. Everybody needs to get a grip. Chris Brown fans. Y'all can like Chris Brown. Like, you going to hell, but like, y'all can like Chris Brown and leave us the fuck alone. There's this weird thing where people want to like Chris Brown and then want us to be okay with them liking Chris Brown. And that's the part I don't understand. Have your nasty ass fave and go. Like, that's what I don't like. You know, you can just have your nasty ass fucking fave. Like, no one's going to stop you from having your nasty ass fucking fave. But right now we're in this thing. This happens every like 18 months. People decide, like, it's time to, like, act like Chris Brown has never got his dues. And, you know, like, Chris Brown never had success. Let me tell you fucking something. For someone who has done, if you remember it, see, a lot of people are new to this pop culture shit, but I'm true to this pop culture shit. There was a time between the years of 2010 and I would say about 2018, Chris Brown was a menace to society. Chris Brown was a menace to society. You knew every single week Chris Brown was going to be in some shit. You knew it was literally like clockwork. Chris Brown was going to be in some goddamn shit. And it happened every single week. He was a menace to society. He spent his entire 20s being a menace to society. And that is just simply it. The reason why, here is the thing. I do agree that Chris Brown is not as successful as Chris Brown could have been. That Grammy night when he did what he did to Rihanna, Chris Brown was on top of the world. Chris Brown could have been amazing. He could have, like, they were willing to give Chris Brown the world. Okay, Chris Brown had already been in like 2 movies, like maybe even 3 movies. Like, he was on top of the charts. He was doing commercials. Chris Brown was going to be huge. And so then the Rihanna thing happened, and that didn't happen for him. But in the meantime, in between time, Chris Brown is still doing sold out tours. Chris Brown's still getting invited to award shows. Chris Brown's still nominated for Grammys. Chris Brown's still selling records. Chris Brown's still doing songs with really popular artists. Chris Brown, there was never any stop. There was never any stop to Chris Brown's career. So much so, if you was there, you can remember how quickly people were willing to want Chris Brown to come. There was like a countdown to like when Chris Brown was going to be allowed back into popular culture. Like, I fucking remember. He was on Good Morning America. That's when he smashed in people's windows in at Good Morning America. Like, Chris Brown has done nothing but fine since doing that stuff to Rihanna, and still acting a fucking fool throughout that entire time. So when you tell me that we need to forgive Chris Brown, we need to do what more does Chris Brown need? Us to not say what he's been up to for the past 15 years? Is that what you really want? You want us to no longer like, I can't do it, because I just refuse to sit up here and believe, like, Chris Brown gets so much support. Chris Brown, it's actually unfounded how much support Chris Brown gets as a black man who has been like a part of the shit he has been a part of. He actually gets excuses and gets more than you would actually expect for a black person in pop culture. Like, Chris Brown seems to be protected in a way that a lot of other black people who be in his bullshit would not be protected. It brings me to the colorism aspect of Chris Brown. I constantly get reminded how much light-skinned black men benefit from colorism. It's so often, because all black men care about is like sex and all that. They don't see the systemic ways in which colorism affects them. Because, like, okay, people always talk about how they don't want a light-skinned men. Light-skinned men are soft, da-da-da-da. People don't see, number one, that's just dark-skinned men being fetishized. Like, saying that is just, like, you're still losing there, because they're fetishizing dark-skinned men, that they're tough, they're rugged, they hood, you're being fetishized. But so number one, that's not even a good thing anyway. But you know, all y'all care about is sex and stuff, so that's all that matters. And number two, being soft as a black person is the best way you can be perceived in society. That's why if we see that with light-skinned women, how would that also not work with light-skinned men? Light-skinned men being seen as soft, being seen as less violent, being seen as less aggressive, less black, 100% helps them in a systemic way. And that's why Chris Brown is able to get away with what Chris Brown is able to get away. Chris Brown don't scare the hoes because he light skinned. If the stuff that Chris Brown had done, if a dark skinned man was out here doing the stuff that Chris Brown had done, people would be terrified of him. Terrified of Chris Brown. Like, do we really have to run down what Chris Brown was really doing during the 2010s? People will be terrified of Chris Brown, but they're not, because he's light-skinned. Because of that light skin, people see him as softer. Like, oh, if the reason why people are so like, but what did Rihanna do that night? What did Karrueche do? What did Frank Ocean do? The reason why people are like that, because people are like, poor Chris, there's just no way Chris could just be out here, ready to fight. There's just absolutely no way he could be out. And that's that softness people perceive light-skinned black people to have. That's why he is so protected in the black community. Like, I hate to have to jump into theory on you, but it is what it is. Like, Trey Songz is the same exact way. People can't fathom that Trey Songz could be out here doing this stuff because he's of lighter complexion. 100%. But if he was dark-skinned, y'all believe that shit so goddamn quick. Y'all be running, like, when you really, like, and let's not act like people really want to believe, that any of these niggas out here doing anything. But the stuff, like, the track record is so long. It's so long. Y'all be running. y'all would be running from Chris Brown if he was dark skinned. Like, he 100% uses colorism to his advantage. Colorism helps Chris Brown in every single way. So the next time you fix your tongue to sit here and say light-skinned men are hurt by colorism, go look at who's in prison right now. Go look at the prison sentences that are handed out to dark-skinned men in comparison to light-skinned men for the exact same crime. It's just a thing that is. If you have lighter skin, you are seen as softer. You just are. That's just good old white supremacy. And therefore, that helps Chris Brown, because what Chris Brown has done should be unforgivable. But y'all looking at someone's tweeted and said, he only hit 2 women. What? This is my community. I saw a tweet this morning where somebody say, the older I've gotten, I've learned to see that Chris Brown and Rihanna was just fighting and Rihanna lost. Do you see? It's this idea that Rihanna and Chris are equally yoked because Chris Brown is light skinned. Because people see Chris Brown as soft. And it's like, there's no way this man could be out here doing what he is. He simply is. The next person on the Get a Grip train is Chris Evans fans. I know you're like, what? So Chris Evans has debuted his new young girlfriend. Chris Evans at what? 41 years old is dating a 21-year-old. And his fans have put out a letter saying they're disappointed in him for what? I don't know. For having a girlfriend. Here's the thing. Yes, I think it's weird that a 41-year-old is dating a 21-year-old. I think all men who date women who are more than a decade older than them are weird. Like, it's weird. You're overcompensating for something. Like, it's bizarre. Why don't you want to date women your age? Whatever. But he not dating an 18-year-old. Shit. He dating a 25-year-old. That is a grown-ass woman. I'ma say it because nobody else wants to. That's a grown-ass woman. If she want to date a 41-year-old Chris Evans, she can date a 40. No one is being harmed. Unless she is actually being harmed, no one is being harmed. Like, it's nasty, yes. I'm looking at Chris Evans sideways, yes. But no one is being hurt. She is grown. It's just like how people wanted us to care that Dua Lipa and Trevor Noah have a big age gap. Dua Lipa is 28 years old. Like, I'm so sorry. Dua Lipa can date whoever the fuck she want to date. This 25-year-old girl can date whoever the hell she want to date. She grown. That is between her. That's between her family. That ain't got nothing. Like, y'all being unserious. Is it weird? Yeah, I'm not saying it's not weird. I think it's weird that these people in Hollywood want to date little girls. But I'm saying there's nothing I can do. Like, there's nothing. I have to use my feelings and my outrage for something far different than this 41-year-old man dating a 25-year-old. Like, you would think it came out that girl was 17 years old. Like, what? Like, she 25. We all have our limits. Maybe your limits is 30, but I choose to not give a fuck who people over the age of 25 and older are dating. Them is grown people. Like, I can't until you give me something to care about. I can't sit here and care. Chris Evans fans, y'all gotta get a grip. Chris, you want to know something? Chris Evans, I was literally tweeting about this on my Twitter circles. There are people on the internet who have like rabid fan bases that people don't even realize. It's like people expect the Barbs to be Barbs, LeBron stands to be LeBron stands, the Beehive to be the Beehive. Like, those are like people expect them to be lunatics, right? But there are people who have crazy fan bases that a lot of people don't know until you step on the landline. And then you're like, whoa, where did this come from? Kamala Harris has crazy stands. Where the fuck did they come from? I do not know. Kamala Harris has crazy ass stands. Chris Evans, another one, crazy ass stands. Tom Holland, crazy ass stands. Like, there's just certain people you don't expect to have like crazy stands, because it's like, what the fuck? No, they have crazy stands. So you know what? Chris Evans stands. What, y'all thought he was never gonna have a girlfriend? Come on, be a little bit more serious. Be a little bit more serious. I know nobody wants to see that they favor's dating a 25-year-old because it shows like morally corrupt. That's the most Chris Evans is morally corrupt. But like I can't care too much beyond that because like that's a grown woman. That's a grown, and if that's how she want to get, I'd rather die than be the young teen that some old ass man is talking about he done pulled. But that's not my plight. That's not my plight. That's not my business. And so there ain't nothing I can do there. Everything about Nick Cannon makes me really uncomfortable. Like I'm gonna do a whole YouTube reels about this. But everything about Nick Cannon and him constantly having kids makes me actually uncomfortable. Like it's something, it's like seeing Heidi Klum in that snail costume where it's just like something in your skin crawls. Something about this Nick Cannon baby situation makes my skin crawl and I can't put my hands on. Like I'm uncomfortable. Everything Nick Cannon wise makes me uncomfortable. So that's where I'm at with that because that's what he only his 12th kid. Like it's weird. It's weird. The next thing that was on my Get a Grip train, y'all gonna have to let Letitia go. And not let her go as in let her go. I mean, y'all gonna have to let her get off scot-free. Like here is the thing. She was anti-vax and she was nasty about it and we gave her lashings. I'm talking about Letitia Wright from Black Panther. We gave her lashings. It's done after that. I'm sorry. I'm here to say until Letitia do something nasty again, which she may, I'm letting her go. There's too many nasty people in Hollywood for me to have to sit up here and be throwing away to black people. Letitia can act. That little girl can act. I said little girl like she's not 30. She can act. She can act. Like I'm so sorry. I'm not letting her go. Like it's family business at this point. It's family business at this point. I'm gonna have to drag her in private, but like she gonna have to be here to stay. Y'all just gonna have to allow it. Y'all allow every other nasty white person to be in Hollywood to no pushback, to absolutely no pushback. So guess what? Y'all just gonna have to let mama cook. Y'all just gonna have to let mama cook. Like I'm so sorry. Y'all just gonna have to let mama cook. That's in my notes. I said y'all gonna have to let Letitia cook. I like the girl. You want to know what? When everyone was doing the whole, when everyone was doing the whole if Twitter goes down thing, I was thinking to myself, this would be kind of interesting because what would a lot of these people do if Twitter wasn't around? A big way that a lot of people don't like do radio interviews anymore, go on award shows anymore, all of that, because you don't need those things to get people to know you have something coming out, because you can simply just go on Twitter and get the word out, to a lot more people and quicker. But like if there wasn't a Twitter, we would, I think we would see this mass like migration back to traditional like rollouts of things, which is kind of interesting. I kind of miss that era. I kind of miss a good radio interview. I kind of miss a good press junket. I do. So that would be fun. That's what I was thinking. That was my only if Twitter goes down thoughts. You ever appreciate somebody once they gone? Once they gone, you see how great they were. Jack Dorsey kind of had that shit on lock. Now that we have to deal with Elon Musk fucking every day. Like, wow, Jack Dorsey, you was kind of good at your fucking job now that we looking back. Oh, I gotta sneeze. That girl from Charlotte died in Mexico with her friends, and my only take on that is that y'all are weird. When, like I said with Takeoff, like I said with that girl who died of carbon monoxide poisoning, y'all are weird when people die. And by y'all, I mean black people. Whenever someone dies, y'all get to saying what y'all coulda, woulda, shoulda done, and y'all start talking about me and my friends, shut up. This is not about you. Why do y'all turn everyone's unfortunate situation into some teaching moment, into some like viral discourse type. Y'all are weird. Y'all need to go find real friends. Like, I just don't believe you have friends if you up on social media doing all this. Like, now I'm calling your friends and like, I don't think you have any. I don't think you, because this is weird. You should have better things to do. You should have better things to do. I call it taunting. Y'all be taunting people. That's what y'all be doing. It's giving taunting. Like, ooh, nanny boo boo, you died. You died, but me and my friends, we different. And it's just like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You are never too quick. You are never too cool. Your friends are never too tight. And you are never too witty to get got. Like, anything can happen to you. Like, anything can happen to you. Like, I don't know. Like, everyone who something bad has happened to thought that something bad couldn't happen to them. Like, please be fucking serious. I still ain't finished my makeup and I'm like through my topics. We have to get gun control under control. We have to get gun control under control. We gotta get guns off the street. We gotta get guns off the street. This is in the wake of what happened at in Charlottesville at the University of Virginia. Like, this is just senseless. It's just senseless. It's just senseless. We gotta get it under control. Kelly Rowland, get a job. I know. It's a sad day when I gotta come on here and speak real. Kelly Rowland, get a job. Like, what? Read the teleprompter and go. Read the teleprompter and go. No one needed all that you was talking about Chris Brown. No one asked for it. No one needed it. No one needed it. Read the teleprompter. Yes, the crowd was not feeling Chris. The crowd, and let it go. And let it go. And let it go. Anyways, I'm done here. This was the Get a Grip episode. Everybody needs to get a grip. Everyone needs to get a grip. Everyone needs to get a grip. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.